there's this thing going around right now where women are supposed to treat their men like kings in order for them to lead in a relationship. If I'm not trusting of who's leading me, as you mentioned, I'm not going to submit to you.
Right.
My feelings, my thoughts, my values, they should be of importance to the person that I'm with.
Absolutely.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
And if I'm not getting that, yeah, nigga, I'm debating you on every shit you bring up. Hello, ladies.
Yay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome
Back
to
at it
another episode of Not Your Average Aunties.
And
How much you've had to drink?
It's okay.
trying to do too much at one time. But go ahead.
I don't have to put that in.
Go ahead.
So what we're talking about today is leading versus ego and submission in a relationship. It can be twofold. It can be either amongst friends or it can be between man and woman. I take it as there is a situation that I was in where these are two close friends of mine, three actually, and we were having a discussion and I kind of took an emotional approach and reacted in a way that I shouldn't have. And I had to actually sit back and look at this situation and realize that my emotions and how I felt really wasn't the case, because I was using that situation and comparing it to another one that I had in the past. I was triggered by it. So my reaction initially was not the best, and I had to apologize because I realized that I used my emotions instead of rationality. So in that aspect, I had to submit because I realized my reaction wasn't warranted.
So it takes a lot to do that.
Yeah, I
as
know.
an individual.
She meant that shit.
Bitch, you don't know the depths of my soul. I had to search. No.
I had to dig deep within.
But it takes a lot. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of
Maturity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
I'm
do that.
becoming a grown-up.
Listen, we all have our moments. We have bratty moments even as adults, okay?
Absolutely. So that's a lot to do, because a lot of times I think friendships, relationships, let's just say that. I think a lot of times relationships will fall out because one person doesn't want to even be more aware of how they're coming off, you know? And vice versa. Like, some people just don't. Or imagine if a situation had happened where you just stuck to your guns, stood on your own business, not doing that inner healing, inner introspective thoughts, whatever, and then you just like, man, they still crazy or whatever, right? So, but imagine how many times, or think about the friendships you have where they did that,
right?
And they don't want to be accountable.
They don't want to be accountable, and
know?
it just it festers, it drags out if the issue is never resolved, because some people they will still interact with those same individuals knowing that the relationship is getting toxic, and it comes back to some of that that I want to say a little bit of ego plays in there. Like you talked about, yours was emotion driven. What piece of that was somewhat ego and not just emotions?
The emotional part is I read more into this situation than I needed to because of that trigger.
Right.
I didn't take a step back or at least look at it from another lens. I just saw the trigger and it made me emotional.
Right.
And instead of stepping back, I reacted, and I shouldn't have. I just need now to realize, and this is the self-growth where it's coming in. I've always been that rah-rah, speak my mind and don't care two shits. But in situations now where I'm getting older, more of my interactions are with close-knit friends. And I just need to not take everything personal and just think about what I say, so I'm not coming off raw before I speak. So
when we thought about this topic, I was thinking about relationships that were between man and woman, pretty much, and with the leading versus the ego, because people can lead, and people will follow your lead, but it's how you lead.
Exactly.
So if you're leading with the ego or you're leading with emotions, people are going to tend to not trust you because they're like, this person just full of themselves, and they don't consider everybody else that's involved. And it's like they want to lead, they want to beat themselves on the chest. And I mean, this can come from man and woman, because you have women who lead as well, but also lead with ego, versus leading where it's a positive outcome, because you're working with the best interests of everybody involved and not leading with your ego because it's all about you. So that's where I was kind of going with that. And I think with that, when you lead that way, when you lead knowing that working towards an outcome that's a greater good for everybody, then it's more willingness to be submissive in that relationship. Because when people think about submission in relationships, they take it to a negative space, right? So I did too.
And I do too,
because
yes.
I've experienced it as well. So definitely took it to a negative space, because it can be in a negative way, right? So when you lead not with ego, you're more inclined to get people to follow and submit and hear and understand and agree.
But I don't think it's all the time about the ego. I've always been a firm believer that men and women should be able to do the same thing. So if I'm a single woman and I'm not ready to settle down with someone, if I want to play the field just a little bit, I've always felt that there shouldn't be nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
Is provided that you're conducting yourself, respectfully still, you should be allowed to date. It's your choice whether you decide to sleep with them or not, but it's your choice.
100%.
Society should not be dictating that, and
Yeah.
I've always felt that way.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why I've always been told probably this is why I'm not married, or and
don't listen to those naysayers.
I
may
don't
not be the
listen to it
reason.
because I'm not going to settle down or say those vows with someone, because I take marriage and the covenant of it very seriously. And if I'm not able to act and be myself and be able to say and do things that's not going to affect my partner, for him not to feel inadequate or me diminishing his part as the leader in the relationship, I'm not going to submit. There's this thing going around right now where women are supposed to treat their men like kings in order for them to lead in a relationship. If I'm not trusting of who's leading me, as you mentioned, I'm not going to submit to you.
Right.
My feelings, my thoughts, my values, they should be of importance to the person that I'm with.
Absolutely.
And vice versa. And if I'm not getting that, yeah, nigga, I'm debating you on every shit you bring up.
She said what she said.
Exactly.
I think submission comes from both sides, right? Leading comes from both sides.
Yes.
Because granted, there are going to be things that you're going to know and know how to do well, and there's going to be things that they know how to do and know how to do well. And you guys got to be able to trust that. But they got to make you feel
that you can
like
be
I
trusted.
can trust you. Like you can lead me down this right path. So I don't think it's one versus the other. But I think people get caught up too much into this man-woman thing. And they forget that people are human.
Exactly.
We all have brains and minds of our own. We have our own thoughts. We have our own opinions. And they all need to be valued and treated equally. So...
But that's going to be a long time coming, because there's still a lot of men out there that they just want what they want and how they want it. And
well, hopefully they lead in properly to get that.
She said what she said.
And I think that, so yes, there's a thing about having submitting to a man and having them lead. And I will be the first one to say that. Well, I wouldn't be the first one, because we all pretty much said it, that and even in my relationship earlier on, I had a problem with the words, just the word
itself,
right,
because of what came behind it.
Because what came behind it, right, it just was negative connotations, like you said. But it's interesting. While I had a problem with the word, like using the word, my actions with my husband, I'm still submitting to a certain degree. Like this. So the way we roll is they're just, to your point, there are good things that I'm very good at. So then I will take the lead in those things, and there are things that he is very good at.
Yes.
So then I'm submitting whatever, if you want to use that word, and he's the lead. Ultimately, of our household, he is the leader of our household.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But I know when I'm weak in certain areas. Just like we were just having this conversation with the kids, I don't know, a couple of months ago, where he even said that, look, mom's good at this, so I let her rock with that.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then him and I were having a separate conversation about something, and he's like, you're generally good with that stuff, so you go ahead and you rock with it, and I'm gonna be over here doing this, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
But it would never work if we didn't have that dialogue.
Right.
And you're assuming different things. Now, to your point, you said you always believe a woman should be able to do everything that a man does. So I used to assert, in the context of which you shared, I 1,000% agree.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say across everything.
No,
Right.
not everything.
But in the context of what you said, absolutely. But to be fair too, there are things that and not to veer off the topic, that I just don't want to make. I don't want to have to make those decisions.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
naturally, there are some things that you want your male counterpart to do, or
Absolutely.
the person who's in that position of
Absolutely.
leading. You want them to take on those things,
Yes.
right? Naturally, it's like, this is what I signed up for. I didn't sign up. I don't want to do this. This is
I don't wanna
this
do
is
it.
your
Even though I
wheelhouse.
could.
Yeah,
I don't wanna do it.
But this is your thing, okay?
Yeah.
And this is my thing, and that's it.
And some of them are societal buckets.
Yes.
Let's say,
Absolutely.
So for example, even with the house, like when we had a pipe burst. Yes, the very first time it happened, I was like, oh my God, he was at work. And I'm like, what? You know, I never want to be, and I've never been
Damsel
the damsel
in
in
distress.
distress. And it's so funny, he knows that. You know, I will be the one to be like, let me figure this shit out as a temporary fix until. So of course I call him, but still he's at work. I still have to stop the water from gushing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I can't be like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? That's not gonna work.
No.
Right? So now,
Because the house will be flooded.
Exactly, and
So I
stuff get
Should
ruined.
be fucked up.
Yeah.
right? So naturally I call him, like, and of course I'm panicked. You better get your ass home. Come on. He's like, what is going on? Like, you know, but I stopped the water. I was with his direction.
Right.
Okay.
It's like, I gotta stop the water. Okay, go downstairs.
Do this.
Turn the valve down
Right.
there. You know. So when it happened again, this time in the basement, and I couldn't reach the. I was like, now listen here. You know, I had to I call him and then call the plumber, like an emergency. And eventually, it's so funny. I was telling myself, because I didn't want to really have to play that role.
Yeah.
But we're in a dire situation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
Gotta
to
get it
figure out a
done.
way to reach that shit
Yeah.
to my little arms and you know, sucking your gut to get through the crack, you know, to do whatever. And I stopped the water.
Yeah.
You know, so I never want to be the damsels in distress, and I know some women play that role, and that's just not me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's certain things. I'm gonna be fucking for real. I don't want to.
I
just don't want to do it.
I don't.
And I'm sure that there's certain things that y'all partners, they don't want to do either.
Right.
So that's just, you gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's same thing.
It,
Go ahead, say what you got to say.
no, I don't have, as I said before, I don't never have a problem having a man lead. I'm at a point now where there's just certain things I shouldn't have to explain to you or want you to do. It should be.
Give an example.
I'm big on, if I'm out with you, you open my door. I've always been like that.
The car door? Or
Car door and door that we're walking in and out.
yeah.
Well, no, I have to ask because the he is so funny. I'm only saying because I literally was having this conversation with one of my friends, my BFFs. Now, that's why I say it's the car door, all doors, just the car door, the any door you're walking in and out.
I'm not, you don't have to, if I'm the person driving at that particular moment, because a lot of men have noticed that I get aggressive when I'm in New York and they prefer me driving. So in that aspect, they don't have to open my driver's door. But if we're out and they're driving, yeah, I want my door open and closed.
You the traditional old school.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I think that comes from our time, because I talked to my daughters about that, because I believe that too, and they're like, man, I ain't.
So I don't.
Yeah.
So I'm different. I know I'm funny.
I mean, I don't make a stink about it, but I do like it. So if it doesn't happen, I'm not saying why you open up my goddamn. I'm not doing that, but I do like it because that's what
Yeah.
I was taught. That's what my
Okay.
grandfather taught me.
Exactly.
You walk on this side of the street.
But I
don't
get
do
this
all
side,
those.
I get this side of the street walking for sure. But the car door, I don't need that.
Yeah.
The doors walking in, like if we're in the store or restaurant.
Oh yeah, I'm taking mental note.
I'm standing there like, what you gonna do? I'm not reaching for it. Yeah. And it's funny because when we were rearing our sons, from when they were young, they could barely pull the damn door.
That's
open.
right.
They know.
It's like you open the door. He had to train them, like you open the door for your mom and your sisters.
Yeah.
You know? And they would do it, and then I got to the point I would stand there, you know, they think, and now so it becomes second nature. That's what they do.
Exactly.
But the car door, we never did that with them. I'm like whatever.
Yeah.
So it's a little different for me.
Yeah.
I don't really care about that stuff.
I've had one situation recently where, because I started not thinking about the car but more just the going in and out.
Yeah.
He was the one person that no matter where we went, and even when we were getting in the car, even if I was the person driving,
he would open the door.
He would open the door and
That's
close it
chivalry,
behind him.
isn't it? That's
My brother's like that to this day.
So
my
now
older
that I've
brother,
been exposed to that,
I
always
have other friends, and I know we didn't talk about. So this is the crazy thing. I know we're going to talk about, can women have male friends?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's funny. I have other male friends that if we're going out. A good friend of mine and my other friend, we usually go. Her and I go out with him because we went to. Long story. we got history, right? So we've been friends for years. Yeah. And he will open the car door for both of us. That's just his. But I will say
that's my brother. He do the same thing.
He's older. Like he's in his 50s, and you know, and maybe I can't even say that I'll feel that way when I get there because that's just to me the car is like. It's never been a thing for me. It does if it happens, cool. Yeah. But that's not. I guess I've been focused more on the other doors. Like you gonna open them shits. Yeah. You know.
He just gave me a new aspect on it. And it got to the point in the beginning that he would pop my hand like, what you doing? Yeah. And if I even touched it, I had to shut it and walk away from the car. He would treat me like I was a child.
Oh my God.
No, we're going to try this again. Exactly.
Okay. I mean,
so when he started doing that, it was like, and it was really starting to feel nice. Yeah. So I just always thought that was a...
And that's the beginning of a man who's like leading, so to kind of speak. Not the beginnings, but that's one demonstration of a man leading. And it's not coming from a place of ego, and it's coming from a place where you had to finally submit.
Yes.
And it's not a negative thing. Like, this man wants to do something nice for you, and that's opening the door, and he's letting you know his stance. I'm leading here. I want to open this door for you, and you're going to learn today.
So now, because of that, the other aspect of this was... he didn't like me voicing my opinion all the time. I learned to pick and choose battles, but there was certain times if you really did something that I didn't like or agree with, I needed to speak on it. And it was hard sometimes just letting it rock.
I could never.
And letting him be great.
I'm keeping it a buck.
I know.
I could never.
But it was just getting to a point that I couldn't keep doing that. And after a while, he would voice his opinion about the fact that he didn't like... He just thought I was just supposed to say yes, daddy, and be done.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not doing that.
That's a no.
I think so. That's the thing. I think with relationships, I think that both parties should be able to communicate and share their thoughts. So first, even though you didn't like his thoughts were, and he communicated this to you from hearing you, right? Like, nah, I don't want to hear what you got to say. You're just supposed to just accept
agreeing,
because he's the man,
and that's his stance.
That was his stance.
Okay, so he shared that with you. Now you shared that I should be able to share my thoughts and let's come to a happy meeting. You should respect my thoughts.
Exactly.
Right?
We don't have to agree on everything.
So agreed. So we don't have to agree on everything, but we need to agree to a way forward.
Yes. And
that's where the relationship goes. Because you're like, I don't agree, but no one gives enough to compromise on both ends to have a way forward, and that's when, to me, that's a red flag.
Break down.
You know what I'm saying? If you can't, because if you, some of us women, we try to, okay, we see he's not budging, so now we're gonna, all right, like you said, I had to pick and choose my battles. That's you saying, let me compromise, and it ends up happening. You get closer, and there's a trail of dust that's building.
You're continuing to be the one to compromise and
for long
quiet
time.
Yourself, and either it goes on and on and on, or it just to a point where this ain't working no more, and then you explode.
Right? It was getting better. I mean, we're currently apart right now, but we will always be friends because we started out as friends. Yeah. So we've had those discussions, and he realizes now some of the things that I was doing was probably warranted because of the situation at the time. Yeah. So he's been more open to it, but
So that to me that's a lot of ego right there. But if we go back to the original comparison, that's a big ego when you feel like your word is the only word that matters.
That's a big, what you just said, right? You hit it on the head. You feel like your word is the only word.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of time. And for him, like he said, he was feeling, well, I'm the man.
Yeah.
So by default in his mind, and I'm only getting what you're saying. Of course, he's not here to defend himself, but by default, it's like, I'm the man. What I say trumps anything you say. I don't like. It's almost like he's diminishing your ability to even have a thought, to think on your own. Like, what is that? You know, so that's a red flag.
No,
for me.
I can have my own thought, just not share it.
That's what I'm saying. You and Yaz. He's
red
like,
flag, red flag. Let's check No, because he finally heard you, right?
Yeah.
But initially, you can check that off. We talked about relationships in our previous topic, and we didn't touch on the things that that we should be checking for, those red flags in those friendships. So that those two things, before he acknowledged, because you spoke up and said what you had to say, those are like early red flags. Like people who see signs. I'll tell you a story really quick. I had a friend dating a person for 2 years. No interaction with family. No visit to...
Wait, I'm sorry. With his family or him? Okay. Or he took away from her family.
Very much involved or engaged in connecting with hers, but her
did he
never an
meet a
opportunity
cousin?
connect with his. And I don't want to give too much because they may be viewing, but there were lots of red flags. Like, I know you got a child. I never met this child 2 years in. I've never been in your house because of the story you told.
In 2 years? That's a what? No.
So, and sitting back and it was acknowledged, but they were, instead of addressing those red flags early on, they wanted to do some investigation and all this, like, so much time wasted. But those are two early red flags out the gate. Like, I told you in a previous episode that we taped, and I dated a person for 1 year, and I'm like, time to go.
Yeah.
So how long do you sit there and take a tally and be checking red flag before you be like...
If I'm not meeting a family member within the first 3 months, that's a red flag.
That's a little early.
No, because you would have ran into a cousin, somebody. Oh, yes. Okay, I don't play those games.
I want to pause for a second. I want to address that. So you were saying 3 months.
Yeah, within the first 3 months, I would need to meet somebody. Run into somebody while we're out or together.
It don't have to be an official meet, but I need to run into somebody.
Exactly.
On accident.
I've been fortunate. All the relationships I've ever been in, at some point between first and second date, if we're out somewhere, because of his popularity, so to speak, I would usually run into a family member somewhere or some person that he knew. If we're out all the time and he wants to be in a cut somewhere and he's worrying about running into somebody, that's also a red flag.
That's a red flag too.
Yeah.
If you always out and you in the first, you be thinking, oh, this is so romantic.
We're in a nice little corner, cuddled up in the cut somewhere.
Exactly.
Every time
that's the first date. I can get that.
Wait a minute.
Why are we always in the cut?
Why, exactly.
Why am I only seeing you on Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Bitch, because he got a roster.
On Monday, Tuesday, and
let's keep it a buck.
And you working overnight all weekend long. Yeah. Okay.
That's definitely it's a red flag.
These are real stories. These things have happened
all the time.
But I still think 3 months seems a little short for me, and maybe because it takes me such a long time to figure out. This is the person.
If it's the person,
that because I'm so not trusting that it's like I don't know. I would. If I wasn't, I guess
it wouldn't be 3 months, but it wouldn't be a year.
No, it wouldn't be no year.
Exactly.
No, it wouldn't be no year.
It just would be weird to me because I'm so used to every time I'm with a person, they know people. Like he's always, pounding somebody if we're out. Like
in that situation, I see her point in that situation because listen, he know a lot of people. I'm seeing him interacting with a lot of people.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of people that I know. What's the relationship possibly
with them people.
with these people.
Exactly.
So I
and that's
understand
also
in that
you
scenario.
can monitor or just take note
Of course.
of the interactions that's
Of
happening.
course.
Yeah.
Of course, and now we're older. We definitely see
checking for them
nigga,
flags early.
When did y'all two go out? Type thing.
That's
Because
that's what she was saying. The first time she went, so have y'all dated before?
No.
I'm just joking.
It's all depending on the interaction that I'm seeing.
she
Because
gonna
I'm
watch the
very
vibe and the
observant.
chemistry.
Exactly. I'm
chemistry.
looking at vibes and everything, and you
Got
can
you.
honestly look at two people
Yeah, you
and
can
know
tell.
whether or not there was something there.
But see, I don't know, because sometimes your radar off, because I could be friendly with somebody, but that does not mean that I screw them or even want to. You see what I'm saying? And I do have male friends, and it's never crossed my mind to ever even think of them in that fashion.
But it would resonate with that in
Nah,
the
but we be
interaction.
so cool, laughing,
Yeah.
kiki.
Yeah.
I could kiki with them, laughing. You know, when I laugh, I'm animated. I'm always pushing, and
Yeah.
I'm not hanging on them. But we're like, I look at them as my brothers.
Right.
So
Uh-huh.
some women may look at them like, what's that?
No.
And then mind you, it's like, nah, this is
Outside
not.
There's all keys, man.
No, outside of my
you
core
may
friends,
hug your friend, but then there's situations
Where
where
you
if
gonna
someone come, they do one
hug.
of these numbers.
Oh no, but
Hey,
see, they ain't no,
you know,
ain't
little
no
things
dudes
like
with
that.
I'm a married
Or-
woman. I wish a motherfucker would have, hey, punch your man in his fucking face.
But see, I would see that because I can see your facial expression.
Yeah.
We all know.
That's
a telltale
but
sign.
1 second. So I'm always gonna play devil's advocate.
okay.
So because I'm a married woman, so a dude, none of my friends don't even approach me. But let's just say,
Okay.
they're not. I'm not giving off that, right?
Okay.
But what about the woman who's not married, but she would take me before I was married?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not interested in him, but we so cool.
Right.
But you would see that. You would feel. I'm very intuitive
But what
to
if she
anybody
was,
around
What
me.
if she was okay with the rubbing, but still didn't mean anything?
But it
I'm
may
not okay with it. But you
no.
know,
Yeah.
I would say, if you're looking at them as a friend, you wouldn't want them to do that to you because we're friends.
Yeah,
like that's something you reserve for somebody you want to be more
That's
intimate
true.
with.
A caress is something
Just, it's
crazy.
something different.
You'd be surprised.
It's saying
That's
something. It's
crazy.
signaling something. It's signaling you
You're
want
right.
something
I'm gonna
more
think
than
about
I may have
Because
wanted.
I wouldn't
Right?
want no dude caressing me.
Yeah, I mean we
Because
friends.
there's a lot of times that even though they're friends, this is twofold. Man and woman can be friends. I have friends that's
believe
well
that.
over 30 years as
I
well.
believe
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I've never thought of them in that way. He's never thought of me in that way. At least he's never even expressed to me or showed me an inkling
Yeah.
that he was.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still that if he wants to vet her, that common knowledge will already be there.
Mm-hmm.
So I go up to him. He gives me the eye contact automatically. Oh, we testing.
Mm-hmm.
So I would come over and don't care that she's standing there.
Mm-hmm.
And, me and him talk. We, pound or whatever. But I do certain gestures like put my hand on the back of his back.
Mm-hmm.
Or I may do one of these numbers. Do something to give the person he's vetting. Did they fuck? They were more than friends. So that's a conversation I need to have with him when she walks away.
Mm-hmm.
Women do that all the time.
Okay, so a couple things popped up when you said that. And I like to play devil's advocate.
I know.
I just recently, I think it was his Blair Underwood,
Mm-hmm.
divorced his wife for his best friend. He had a best girlfriend. I'm
Re-
about to Google this
recently?
shit. I think I'm about to Google
I
it.
ain't know
Pull it up
that.
on your phone and see. I think something.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think I saw something on the internet. But you can't believe everything on the internet, but I think
Yeah.
I did. But so that goes to show you where you could be. So one thing I would say with my husband, I know he does watch this, right? So when we were, and we've been together, guys, for a million years.
Yes.
So when we were I was a teenager. So back then, I always had male friends, and he would say to me, we were both teenagers. He was
Okay.
like, a man can't be your friend. Because he gonna want you in something. He said he may be like, yeah, hey, Kira, but if you gave him a shot, he gonna take it. Now that was him in his teenage mind at that time.
Yes.
All right. And
Which
what's-
some men still feel that way.
Yes. What's interesting to me, because there's a couple of lessons that my husband had taught me, and I had to figure out as we, sometimes through experience.
Okay.
What's interesting to me, when he told me that back then, mind you, I might have been 17, and I'm like, nah, he's cool. He's cool, And he was like, I'm telling you, yeah, he's cool, but if you give him, if you gave him a shot, he gonna take it.
Yeah.
All right.
Because he's seeing that.
Right. So fast forward.
Okay.
Same guy. Now I don't know where the guy dead or alive now to this day, but we were talking, and at the time, maybe my husband and I got into, well, at the time we was boyfriend girlfriend, got into an argument or something, and I happened to work with this guy, so I was just annoyed. He could tell in my face, whatever it was. I don't even remember the argument. It's been so stupid. Okay. And he was like, "What's wrong?" And as I told him a little bit, not a lot, because I've always been, I'm guarded with my shit. I noticed a change, and that's the first thing. And as a woman, if someone has arrived, and that was the first time I was like, "Yo,
opportunity arrived."
Yeah.
And that's when I thought back to my husband. I was like, that nigga right.
Yeah.
But that was because that was something he saw in the vibe and in the
No, because he ain't never met that dude. I would come home from work and I would share about
whatever y'all talked about. Yeah.
He knew
something.
It was a guy.
Yeah.
That's the only. He never met him. His stance at that time was like, no, you cannot be friends with a man. Now, not to say don't do it. He was say, I'm just letting you know. You gave him a chance. They're gonna ride. Yeah. I said, I don't care who it is. Yeah. Now, over time, fast forward.
Okay.
Because I've always had male friends, and now fast forward, there's male friends that I have to date that he's met, and it was never an issue because his mindset is like. Yeah. Now, even if he thought, if she gave a chance, he was like, she ain't going nowhere. Maybe that's his mindset. Actually, I never even asked him. I just know he's okay with it.
Come back, ask him and come back, because I want to say this, right? So. I think men and women can be friends while they're in relationships. But I think there's like your husband said something to you. So in that regard, if your spouse or your partner at any given moment said, I think this person wants more than what you want, or they see this as more than a friendship.
As my husband, I'm dead in it.
Absolutely. So
I'm dead in it.
You have respectfully,
especially now.
But respectfully, I think you should. And I think some people There was something I was watching. There's this couple, this show I was watching where this man had a female friend. His wife was fine with the friend. They played golf, so that's what they had in common. They played golf. The friend and the husband played golf.
Okay.
Wife didn't play golf. She was okay with the friendship, but then the friend crossed boundaries. The husband started stepping up and doing things and coming to this person's rescue at the expense of his marriage.
Okay, that's a problem. That's a problem.
He, on top of that, was now defending this friendship. I'm your wife. If I say this friendship got to end, it got to end. Respectfully, for our marriage to work. It's like you have to put your marriage before this friendship. Absolutely. And if this friend don't understand, then that wasn't your friend to begin with. So there's ways that men and women can be friends, but there's boundaries, there are clear discussions, and furthermore, I need to meet that friend.
Yeah. My only thing with that statement is if it's only if your significant other said to you, he don't particularly like this friend, or I see that he wants more from you. If he doesn't do that often, then I would say I'm ending the relationship.
If who doesn't do one often, or make that stance?
Yeah. Your partner.
So it's like they're constantly saying it to you.
If they're constantly saying that, that's telling me, so I can't have a male friend, period. Even if this person I've known since grade school, you're telling me I can't be friends with them
even though they didn't explicitly say no male friends, they just said not that friend?
Yes. Because it would have to be a difference. If you've been with him and he's just said this one particular out of all the male friends that you do have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's different. Because if it's every male friend you have he has a problem with, or if he's just saying it, like he's not saying it because he doesn't see that, he's just making that up. I think you can kind of almost tell the difference. But if it's one person that he's pointing out, this person wants more from you than you want from them, but you have other male friends and he has no interest in other male friends. I would end that friendship.
And I could see you doing that. And my statement was, if he was constantly doing it, then I would have to reconsider.
But for only that one person, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, it was only for that one person when you made that statement.
That's different.
Yeah. I can see you ending the relationship right then and there, or deading it, because it was making your man feel some type of way. Right. But if he's constantly doing it, you got to question that. Yeah, okay. You have to.
I think. Listen, I think there are. So a lot of men don't want their partners to be having friends with women.
And I get that.
Other men. I understand. I think there's some men that are mature enough to know, like, they'll see the signs, to your point of like, nah, this one is not a good one. but they're cool with the others.
Yes.
So I think that how to fight that, because there's some, not even fight is such a strong word, but to deal with it, it's all about the give and take in the relationship. Because while we're expressing our opinions, like, hey, we can have male friends, etc., there are women that actually don't agree with us. Right. Yeah. So they believe that, no, I'm just going to have my women friends and that's it. Once they get with their man, and that's it. So, and I respect that. That's
their choice.
That's their choice. So there's a lot of women I feel that way equally, because they also don't want him having
female friends,
women as friends.
But they don't always work out. They don't always go that way, because sometimes they be like, you can't have a male friend, but I can have female friends.
Like, well, then that is a red flag to me.
Exactly.
Because he's having some female friends, baby.
all right.
I just still have an issue with the whole thing, because if you've been friends with this person for this long, if he's never, or you've never expressed that you wanted more out of a relationship, I just always will treat it as we are friends. We're never going to step over that line.
Yeah. I mean,
and why wait until I get with someone for you to say or tell me how you feel?
Because it can, like that, you never know.
But there's women that
people in general,
like
I'd say people in general, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're not ready to put all their stuff on the line. They're not ready to shoot their shot. So when they do, is probably at the most an opportune moment. But if I had this male friend before I met my person that I'm dating, more than likely I'm telling my male friend, I met this great guy, I want you to meet him. I want you to meet my friend. This is my best friend in my life. He knows all about you. He knows how I feel about you. And hopefully that gives them some comfort and not to feel any other kind of way, at least until this person shows something otherwise. Because
exactly.
There's situations where a male will be your friend, and they will go up to do every ride of every relationship that you have. They will go with you through all of that.
Yeah.
All the while having feelings for you.
Absolutely.
And then it'd be that one, the perfect one you get, and they be like, this one ain't going. I'm not gonna let this one work. None of the other ones work. So yeah, they were good with that, because none of the other ones work. But this one look like it's gonna work. I'm gonna disrupt this shit.
Oh yeah.
And they can do that. They can totally flip on you.
But then now you would know that they had feelings for you.
Yeah, but then that's the
But
time.
then why did it have to even
off.
get to that point for you to express your feelings?
I mean, who knows? There's so many different variables that come into play. It could be the confidence. It could be
nigga, you want me? Tell me.
She's like,
and we friends, damn it.
Do you know what we could have accomplished if you would have told me how you felt?
So that means you feel the same. Now hold the phone.
The feelings were mutual.
Anyway. So how many stories have we heard about that? We have two friends that, since the beginning of time.
All these damn Lifetime movies.
All the Lifetime movies. Hell, This Is Us with the best friends. When he died, she got with the best friend. I mean, this happens constantly. Yeah. So,
What I got?
Red flags? Any more red flags? What are the red flags in relationships?
Jealousy, lying.
Yeah.
Lack
trying
of communication. Trying to change you.
Ooh,
that's a big one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Trust. I said that already?
No. Gaslighting.
Gaslighting,
that's a turn off.
And these are all, not only, so you're saying the term for sure, but I think these, again, as in relationships, period, whether it's friendships or with your partner or significant other.
Big egos.
Yep.
Lack of self-knowledge.
Being narcissistic.
Yes.
It's all about me. All about me. All about me.
Yeah. I got trapped in one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to hear about you when we talking about me, God damn it.
Or you feeling insecure or not feeling like you're a man because I have my own opinions.
And projecting that on me, because that happens. So, just projecting, period. It can, like you said, it can be across all different types of relationships, because friends project too.
Yeah.
So.
What about the pity party people?
Ooh.
Pity
the
party
martyrs.
People, pity party people.
Pity party
martyrs,
people.
Yeah. They can kick rocks. I ain't got time. I don't.
Go somewhere else with your sorry story. I got my own sorry story. I don't need to be listening to yours.
And it's the constant. That's like a red flag.
Every single time.
It goes that other friend. Just try and just dump on you all the time.
Yes, it's just an energy drain.
And it's sad because it wasn't like that in the beginning. it just really started to come about.
But did you not see?
I was gonna say it probably
sometimes
was.
we miss signs because we want. Sometimes we miss signs of these red flags. They've been there, but we want the relationship so much, or we want it to work out, that we're willing to like push it to the side. You know.
It was more of because I don't try to bring too many people around my close friends. I was just hoping that would have been something that clicked and everybody liked. But it didn't turn out that way. And it was also because the person was trying too hard.
Yeah,
that's a red flag too. I was gonna say desperation, trying too hard is a red flag too.
It's just you know, you come up, something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
like
so
why do you need me so bad? Like, I'm trying to understand that.
Yeah, so
listen, here's to friendships, relationships, prospering, having good foundational elements,
acknowledging the good, versus the bad,
acknowledging the good versus the bad, and also just staying true to yourself and your values.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers, ladies.
Oh,
yeah.
reach.
All right.
Till next time, people.
This is